Hey, so we're gonna get right into this one so I don't lose train of thought. Um, Music and how it was influenced by spirituality. My music career and how spirituality had an influence or how did it influence, what I'm doing with my music. Um, okay, so high school. I'm in poetry class. That really began to be where I could vent, where I could express myself and not be judged. I found that music is the only place where I could express myself and nobody had in it. It's like I can tell you what I'm feeling from beginning to end, and at the end it's just your choice to hear it out or believe or listen to what the fuck I just said. You really don't get a chance to rebuttal during or like question what I'm saying or try to defame or gaslight me. Like I didn't know those words. I didn't know what they meant. Like I said, I was brilliant, but gaslight is not a word that was used in high school at the time. It wasn't a word that was floating around in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that term didn't become popular until after the 2000s. So we're not gonna sit here. You know what I'm saying? For the people who you know what I'm saying. Let's clear the space. All right, the space is clear. So, um, when it comes to music, I'm in high school. Poetry became a way for me to vent what I was going through, my emotions, how I felt, um, different ideas and things of that nature in an artistic way and in a creative way. It wasn't like I was a depressed child. I wasn't. I told you, like, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't abused child. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So, um, not to say that there wasn't hardships and shit that happened, but I wasn't abused. I was my dad wasn't beating my mom. My dad wasn't beating me. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, when it came to me to express myself or just have a way to limitlessly speak freely, music became or poetry and rap is poetry, rhythm and poetry. Though that's what the RAP is for, rhythm and poetry. So I was always on track, right on track. You know what I'm saying? I was in theater classes, anything to do with the arts, we were there. You know what I'm saying? Programs after school and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it became a place for me to vent, a place for me to. My teacher ended up being Christina Cologne. She was on Def Jam Poetry. Crazy. She was an English teacher. Uh, what? English major. Uh, I think she had a master's. I'm not too sure. But she was the head of the head at the college she taught at. And I could throw a dart, throw a shot in the dark, and hit the right target. But I'm not gonna do that because when I say something, it's always no. That's what it is. Or if you got something else, then okay, I'm willing to hear what you're saying. But no, if I'm not sure, I usually don't act like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Then I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I've never been that kind of person. Um, but yeah, she was my teacher, and that's where I learned where the word braggadocious comes from, or what that means to be braggadocious with your style of writing, with your style of rapping, with your style of art, poetry. I was very braggadocious. She's like, you always like, this is nice. Like I've never. She used to I've always been into the stars. I've always been into space. HCO Space Boy was the name they gave me in high school. She used to yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out you, shout out you, Shorty. You cold. Um, I always knew that I was gonna come with some what now is called uh um MC bars. You know what I'm saying? Some shit you used to see uh um and then like how you forgetting her name? I hear y'all saying her y'all too. Lauren Hill would spit. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day and shit like that. Yeah, no. We've been, on the path, on doing what we were supposed to be doing. Um, Now when I wrote back then, I kind of sort of remember. We had to get an article. Like we had like after school, we had an assignment, and the assignment was to pick an article. We pick a news clipping from in the middle of the desk. We all was sitting in different areas randomly. They randomly set us at different areas, and then within that group, you pick one of the news article clippings that's within the center. So the one I had was about this kid named Darian, this child named Darian Albert, right? And he had got murdered at like Finger High School and shit like that. So like I instantly read the little headline and I straight to it. And I ain't gonna say the whole thing, but it was like hi, my name is Darian Albert, and I was standing in this line with this funeral flowers. It felt like we been for hours wondering like, what you gonna do with these cowards? Who knew trying to help a friend with outcome bloody comedy to them? But I saw nothing funny when you standing outside. When you ain't enough when you ain't tall enough to stand to the stars, so you try to jump me or some shit like that. There ain't nobody laughing. High rank student, how I end up in the casket, life gone bagged it. Things they happen. Like both was cold since like the beginning, G. Since the beginning, G. Yeah, I ain't never had nobody, you know what I'm saying, that write no shit for me, folks. But you know what I'm saying? I had it since the beginning. Cadences, ins and outs, you know what I'm saying? Um, Speaking with the now I had development. I went through artist development, but it wasn't titled that. And but hindsight, I could see it was artist development. Like my whole life has been development. Like as your life should be when you're flowing. You know what I'm saying? When you're living in your purpose, you should be developing, evolving, becoming something refined. You know what I'm saying? But how it affect me how did spirituality affect me in music? So at the time in high school, um, when it came to spirituality, I still had I was there. I was there with the conspiracies. You know what I'm saying? I was already there. I was already there with the conspiracies, heavy deep into the conspiracies. You know what I'm saying? And then like I had my own year digs that was just like naturally happening. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't have I was more so drowning in lectures. I was going that way. I was headed in that direction. Where's the lectures? You know what I'm saying? I need the lectures. Where are the elders? Somebody point me to the elders. Nah, nah, nah. Where are the elders? So it still had aspects of oh, I started getting into the star. I was into the stars and all that shit, right? So that was always in my bars and shit like that. So I started to get into mythologies, the mythologies. Like I started learning about the mythologies. So that's where Zeus came from, the Greek mythology. But it wasn't like that though. But before that, before I started getting into the mythologies, I was rapping with Eddie Mack. And me and Eddie Mack was well Mac the guy. Me and Eddie Mack was rapping and we was spitting some shit in the motherfucking in the gym room. Gym room had two gym rooms. The front gym room and then the back gym room, right? So they was in the back gym room. I came through the door because I had class. So I used to always pop that door open. Who the fuck up in here? Boom. Oh, it's Eddie up in there. Ooh, I got some new shit. La 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 la. La. So um motherfuckers was spitting and shit. Like around that time, I had a dream that Kanye had, bro. You know what I'm saying? And now coming to the stage, Zeus. Ooh, I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so that's the name. Ooh, la, 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 la. But at the time, I was doing footwork music as well as regular music. You know what I'm saying? Because I was really into footworking. So like, I was DJ Tone. You know what I'm saying? They used to call me DJ Tone Bone. Well, like, not necessarily the whole thing, But some niggas would because like some niggas would call me Tone Bone. Or like some bitches would call me Tone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like different names would fly around. So like they'll try to throw that in your DJ name too. You know what I'm saying? But like I used to DJ, do you know DJ Nate? We know these niggas, folks. We went to school with all these niggas. We ain't here to, hype up other people. You know what I'm saying? Q was there, and all the greats. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who up and coming right now. You know what I'm saying? That's working hard in the background. You know what I'm saying? What's her name? Melina? No, no, no. I erased it, everybody. You know what I'm saying? But their names be there. It pop up when the story goes. You know what I'm saying? But it was this shorty who basically when we was in high school, she was like, I'm gonna take my life savings and I'm gonna make a group. I'm gonna make a label. And when I make my label, I want you to sign to the label. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. Yes, fast forward, ends up Amina, right? Ends up the years later, she hit me up. She's like, "Ooh, I see you doing your music, la 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 la. I want to slide through." And Sohan was there. Sohan, that's how I met Sohan. Sohan, no man, these stories is legit, G. Stories after stories. All right, so look. Shorty like, I want to slide through and hear some of your new shit, and then we could talk business. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? She's like, we could talk business about me signing you. Ooh, she was coming up with a. I don't know if she did it. I don't know if she did it, but I don't know if she's still doing it. Is more so what I should have said. She had Venom Records, right? Um, and no, she was coming up with a name. I was always the nigga who came up with the names. He was either had two names and couldn't think of the name, or I don't want to lie, folks, because they be switching timelines, G. And shit be, you know what I'm saying? You have to really be knowing, folks. But like I know I made Miss Squad. That was my idea. That was my name because I started naming everybody God names after that. And then everybody was like, okay, well, we finna come up with God names if I didn't give them one. You know what I'm saying? They was like, okay, well, my name at? So nigga would be like, okay, my name is Woo, my name is, you know what I'm saying? So Miss Squad, you know what I'm saying? That was my, you know what I'm saying? My name, my thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, not to take credit away from the motherfuckers who rocked the name because everybody rocked the name in their own way and it was raw as hell. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had their own shit and everybody was raw as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So but we been did that. You know what I'm saying? We was calling each other guys and we was guys when we was in high school, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just not starting to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? We were kings back then, folks. Then I don't know where you hear King Louis this, King that. We did that shit, folks. You know what I'm saying? Tell your story. You know what I'm saying? So don't nobody else tell it. Because motherfuckers let other motherfuckers tell it. You know what I'm saying? They don't be seeing you and they don't be watching. But they be seeing you and they be watching. They be knowing exactly who the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? Where you think they be getting their ideas from? All y'all that keep tagging y'all name in that shit. Tagging your name in that shit. When they be like, oh, we looking for the hottest. Why you think they looking? But anyway. Um, yeah, no, that really influenced my music career for real, for real. Like we started going to the studio hard as fuck. Everybody started linking up, started, you know what I'm saying, recording songs and shit like that. And it was a rap from there. It was a rap from there. It was a fucking rap from there. We've been making hits since '98, but you know what I'm saying? It was a rap from there. It was never before seen shit. The engineer that we had was amazing. His homie was amazing. We was always in that bitch high as hell, always getting straight to the music. We had mad footage, mad clips that still float around the internet to this day. You know what I'm saying? You can find them. You know what I'm saying? Myth Squad. You know what I'm saying? King Zeus, QUE, Eddie Mac. You know what I'm saying? What was her name? Lady Diety, Aphrodite. You know what I'm saying? Like the squad was valid. So everybody who came from that went on to do great things. You know what I'm saying? In life in general. But yeah, still musically went on to do great things. But Yeah. So that's how the spirituality started, like whoop, whoop, molding and forming itself like through the music. So I had no choice but to make godly music. You know what I'm saying? I had no choice but to make epic music, music that damn that shit sound like you in a video game. So that shit sound legendary. Gee, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It was no choice. We couldn't like it was no like going to the studio. We was freestyling and all that shit too. But we been doing all most of the tapes that you've seen on my page was all freestyle. So there I'm giving them like I mean if you like my shit, you like my shit, then let's hit some more. Regardless of you know what I'm saying, it was times where the mic quality was epic. It was times when the mic quality wasn't. I was still giving the fans my crowd, my core motherfuckers the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Me. You know what I'm saying? You can check it still up. Still there. I'm gonna do a lot of shit that you know what I'm saying over. Ooh, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? But it this is how it began to like mold, like cultivate, you know what I'm saying? Into, you know what I'm saying? Which is like what's needed, you know? The soul in music. People be talking about, oh, music ain't the same no more. How it's not the same no more because the soul's not there. You know what I'm saying? Then people be like, okay, well, this soul music and then like what happens when the soul is completely removed from the music? Can people tell? Do they know the difference? And if something is removed, did something take its place? Was something put there instead? These are questions that people don't ask themselves, but they should. That doesn't come to mind, but it should, especially if you're an artist, especially if you do music. You know what I'm saying? And if whatever the case may be, make sure that what you're doing it for the highest of the high. Or the, you know what I'm saying, the lowest of the low, and you're in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you got some of the light in you, folks. Make sure you're using the light, folks, with your shit, folks. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the light art, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do shit but bump the light, folks, and that shit bright. That's how you can see your shit. Because light reveals shadow. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other. You know what I'm saying? Passing through matter, shit like that. But it really had an effect on me spiritually. My music, my music career. Um, okay. So I began to like. I had thousands. People be talking about how many notebooks they had and shit. I'm like, one, cause like I'm not no hating ass nigga. That's what's up. I know what it means to have lots of notebooks. You know what I'm saying? But I had so many notebooks to where I couldn't buy enough pages. So I started getting phones and started writing my bars in my phone before niggas was talking about that. Because phones, you could download an app and had unlimited pages. Yeah, we were ahead of the curve on all this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why we weren't impressed. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is most people be impressed by. That shit wasn't impressing us. You know what I'm saying? So this all comes to this point. Back to Mina. She was like, I love what you're doing, but it's gonna be hard to market you. How are we gonna market you? You talking to spirituality? Wasn't nobody doing it at the time. Now you look up, everybody trying to do it. Everybody talk about God this and they God that. Messiah this and I'm on fire with painting through the choir. Naya, you are not inspired. Fitz me Kaya. Kono Matata, you niggas aspire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. They was not doing none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? The Kendricks was not there. They were developing. They were a part of what we are. You know what I'm saying? They were the age of what was coming. Some got out before others, some didn't get out before others, some got out in general. Make sure you get out is the key. Later days.